screen as well to show you
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep. So got us on a recorder just to kind of capture screenshots and stuff because we're doing some actual training on this end too a little bit. All right, so here's what we got. So if you recall how to get to the equipment, first of all, you can see my screen, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Perfect. All right, then I'm going to take an option 10,
19.
and an option 19,
And then 9.
and then a 9. We went through all this last time, just like to start from the edge. So here's what we've got. I know that under option number 1, basically that would be the definitions for the item numbers that represent each model of equipment. And I know that Cody keyed some in, and the ones that Cody keyed in will stick out like a sore thumb because he left the type as equipment because he figured he would leave that for you guys to subdivide the things in there the way you want to. So what you can do to make those changes is just come over here and type over where it says equip and make it be cappuccino, coffee, alligator ice, whatever floats your boat, okay?
Okay.
So there'll be a little bit of tidy up there. But these are the items we got in there, and I didn't do a hard count, but it's a fair amount.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Oh, no, what are one?
Repeat that?
Those are the most common items that we use, so that's great.
Okay, cool. Now, as far as the serial numbers that got imported, there's a couple ways to look at that. I mean, you can print a list out, which I did, and I'm going to show you that, but you can also look at the stuff on screen. So I'm going to press F3 to go back to the menu. And if you, option number 2 on your, it says display customer equipment, and by default, it wants to look at equipment that's actually in a store. So it would not include equipment that's in the warehouse, for instance. But when you take option 2, which I'm going to do, you can see the stuff by customer. So if you want to see what's in a particular customer's location, you put that account in. Also, you can search for a serial number, but everything in here is defaulting to equipment that we believe to be actively placed in a store at this point in time. So that's what option 2 on the menu is all about. So if you press F3 and go back.
So if you go to option 3, and so 2 will get you the customer.
Right. Now, option 3 does some listings, and there's actually 3 possible function keys that can run at the bottom. One is kind of the F6. When you run that, is basically looking for it's equipment placed in a store that and shows the sales activity. And we sort of touched on that last time. And if you just want a straight list of equipment in stores, that's another option is F8. You'll notice there's some little things up there. Like if you're going to do sales, we want to know a start and end date because we want to know over what time frame we want to check for sales. It might be that, you might be interested in the last 30 days or the last 90 days or last year or whatever. I mean, we looked at that last time a little bit.
Right. Now, Harlan, no, F8 just gives us just the equipment, no sales, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So that's basically it's giving you a list of what's in the stores, and you can restrict it with some of these restrictors up at the top, so you can play around with that to see what you've got. And then F18, I want to look at that because that will sort of give us some ideas too. So F18 says all equipment by status. And so I took the liberty to run that this morning. I didn't send it to one of your printers, but when you guys run F18, and you don't have to give it any other parameters, you can just come in here and press F18 and you'll get a list that looks like what I'm about to show you. So if I press F3, and I'm just going to go over and look at my print jobs that I've done that haven't gone to a printer, and so I didn't get confused. I changed this user data just so to view it. So the one that says equipment star all, when you guys run it, it'll just go to your printer. But for sake of me finding it during our demo or our session year. I did that. So if I do display, so this would be one area for you guys to look at. Some stuff pops out at me right away. That is some things we imported where we didn't have an item number. So we have some tidy up to do, and you can see there's some kind of fictitious or crazy serial numbers out here. So that may be tied into how that CSV, how the spreadsheet got read in. But there's not a lot of that stuff, but you can print this list out. So one piece of work for you guys to do is to look and sort of verify, because you know your what you have out in the field better than I do, but it looks plausible to me. So this list here, you'll see it's a fairly short list, and so this would list every piece of gear and the respective serial number that's out there and where it is. So the ones that say available, we believe to be in the warehouse. And we'll move on down. So they sort out by their status. And then the ones that have a P for placed, we have those flagged as actually being in the store at this point. So there's your serial numbers. So this, and it's let's see how many pages we have in this list. I go to the bottom. So it's 6 pages long of stuff, which is not overwhelming DAC to look through, but one piece of homework for you guys is to verify what we got in there so far. So by running that list, just to go back and review again, if I do option 3 from the menu, and F18 should print everything out, and you can verify that. And what we'll want to do is to tidy up the kind of garbagey data that got imported in there. And see, I had found a place to show you that. Here we go. So what you can do is you can come over and you can do a T. Let me go back so I'm not going too fast. So option number 1.
Okay.
If you do a T to track equipment for a specific piece of gear, but there's a way if you're just you want to verify everything and you want to see all pieces of equipment from option number 1. This little option down here, if you press F24, it will show all tracking records, regardless of whether it's a certain piece of gear or not. So I'm going to press F24 and show you what that looks like. So this would be a good place. So if you're ever looking for a serial number and you want to see every reference to it, for instance, this is a good place to come because you can put that serial number in up at the top. I'll just cut and paste one off of the screen at the bottom. So say I'm looking for that, and that one only appears, and that looks like a fictitious serial number to me. Maybe it's not. See if we can find another one down here. I'm hitting the page down here. So all of these look suspicious to me, like we probably want to remove them. But after you page down, then you start to get into some real stuff. So one of my piece of homework is to look at your new files that you sent this morning to refresh the data that's in here. And the other thing will be to tidy up the things that look like they're just, shouldn't be in here. If they have an item number 0 or the serial numbers, obviously not a real serial number, it's a question mark or something like that, I'll tidy that stuff up. Cody or I will. Somebody at CDR will handle that. If we get down here and I want to satisfy my curiosity here, so I'm going to look for a certain serial number and see if I can show it anyplace else. Over time, as you use the serial number tracking in the system, you will be able to put a serial number in, and you'll be able to see every record of what happened with that serial number. You'll be able to see when you first acquired it and it got into the warehouse. You'll be able to see when it was placed at a store. If it comes back from a store, you'll see that. If it gets maybe placed at a subsequent store, you'll see the entire life cycle of that serial number By coming in here is one way to see that. Obviously, we print lists out as well for that stuff. But that's kind of where we are on importing the stuff at this point. So a couple things. So printing that list out with the F18 to see everything. Knowing that you can come in here under option 1 if you don't want to commit something to paper, you just want to spot check and look on screen. Option number 1 with the F24 brings you to everything. You have some restrictors at the top of the screen to find some stuff. So if I go down here and I'll page.
Harlan, how did you get to F18?
What's that?
How did you get to F18?
Okay, let me show you that.
Is there an F18?
The one customer number out here. Before I jump to that, I'm curious because I'm in here I'm kind of validating some stuff as we go on. So if I put this customer number in up at the top, just to show you how this screen works, so I can see the different pieces of gear that we believe to be in that store that got imported. So
That's right.
That's what they've got in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they still have.
Yeah, that's what they should have. So, but to answer your question, how do you get to the F18? What you'll want to do is you will want to take option 3.
Okay.
When you see the word print, that's kind of a tip-off. That's like producing some printouts, and that F18 is one method of getting a printout. So option 3.
Okay.
And then you have several options down here as far as these are basically different lists that you can do. And so F6 is one list with sales, and F8 is another one without sales, just a straight list. And then F18 was the list that showed everything in, all serial numbers we have track of in the system. And so at F18, in case you're working on a PC or a laptop and you only have 12 function keys at the top, the F18 is a shift F6. It's like 12 plus 6 equals 18, right? So shift F6 is the F18. So I'm going to do that on my keyboard. And a little confirm prompt comes up. So I just pressed F18 and I'm going to press enter on that confirm. And what that did was it kicked off a list out here, which for you guys, when you print something, if it automatically goes to your printer, then that's just going to go to your printer. For me, since I don't want to be printing things out on your system and burning up your paper, all my stuff just goes out here to what's called a spool file to view. So that's the one I just ran because you can see the date and time is today's date, and it's roughly 10:15 on your system. So, but that's how you do the F18 list.
Okay.
So that's the next steps for sure is to make sure that we've got everything imported, that we and that we have it tidied up and that it's realistic data, so that we start with a good solid base to work from.
Now, Harlan.
Yeah.
Harlan, the number 7, that just gives us a list of when we start breaking down by, let's say, coffee, cappuccino. Once put it over in the equipment list, that'll show.
Right. Yeah. Let's run that and just take a look at it. So option 7, equipment in the warehouse. So maybe if you want to find things that are available to place in a store, or you want to see things that you've designated as needing repair, or things that were just received, we've never done anything with it, it just came in, or things that were returned to the warehouse, or things that you've designated as lost. I know we have a customer up in Montana, and they're on the Blue Bunny program, the Wells Blue Bunny program, so they're placing ice cream freezers and stuff. And Blue Bunny, I don't know how you can lose a freezer, but I guess it happens because Blue Bunny wants to report freezers that got lost, or freezers that you have been repaired so many times that they're just, or a piece of equipment that's just hopeless. So, You guys, are you in the, do you do the Blue Bunny program with Wells?
I don't think we do, no.
I'll just throw this out. If you ever start to do that program, I guess there must be money involved. Why would somebody do work if there's not money involved, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know the particulars about it. But I know that Doyle Sheehan does that. And the reason I'm bringing all that stuff up is there's a direct link between DAC Equipment Manager, which we're working on right now, and the Blue Bunny equipment reporting. So you can do all your work over in here, and it will produce information to feed the Wells for the Blue Bunny, whatever that incentive program is.
Okay.
And readjust it.
Just food for thought. So anyway, but you can come over here and run this list. If you had multiple warehouses, you could put another warehouse in. I'm just going to run it without specifying a certain status. I'm going to come over here. So this is option 6 from the menu. I'm going to press F6. Print everything, and if there, my little confirm prompt popped up, I'm going to hit enter, and that's going to produce a report. Going to show some stuff. So this would be another thing for you guys to look through to verify, and that's this should be this report right here. So equipment and warehouse by status. So it starts off with the availables, and I think everything, because of the way we import it, everything is marked as available. I think there were a couple of things that you guys had in your spreadsheet that were designated as needing repair, but I don't see those showing up. So that's something we need to, but there were only 1 or 2 that I can remember.
Yeah. It was a pizza,
Where's that?
yeah.
Yeah. So, and we're at the point where we've got enough stuff plugged in here that if there's 1 or 2 odd things that just didn't import, we can just enter those the old tried and true way and fill out what's left there, and we'll sort of have our starting point for everything. Good fresh data. So option 7, print everything in the warehouse, and if you want to, when you have other things besides available, you can, if you want to restrict that list down, you can use one of those statuses that's listed at the top.
Okay.
So we've touched on on our previous sessions, what happens when you create an order in the system that has one of these item numbers in that order, then it prompts the operator for serial numbers, which they can, if it prompts them and they don't know the serial number, they can always just press F3 and not enter the serial numbers. It depends on if the paperwork is here, but preferably when you're billing the stuff out or creating an order for somebody, that paperwork probably ought to be there with the serial numbers on, so they can just capture it all at one time, because that's the most efficient way to know what got sent to a store, the invoice number it was recorded on, and all that fun stuff. Do you guys use returns management? I think you do, right?
Don, do we use returns management? Do we use that?
How you guys do? Hey, Harley, I just walked in.
Hey, Don.
Yes, we do have returns management. Yes, we do.
So when you're using that, if they say, for instance, that they bring gear back from a store, we want to record that it came back, and we want to record that it's now in the warehouse. So when something gets returned, and you can do this 2 ways. One is through returns management. So if you process that through returns management, which is going to look
works properly with the
like this screen right here. So if they and you guys doing the equipment stuff, I know this isn't your venue, your area that you deal in, but they would key something in here, add an entry, and it just like order entry does, it says, hey, I know that item number is actually a piece of equipment tell me the serial number, and it will
Okay.
go through that same kind of process, and then it will create two records. Two tracking records. One tracking record says, I used to be at Joe's Bar and Grill, and now I'm not. So that says I returned from Joe's Bar and Grill. And the other one says, I am now in the warehouse, and it will ask you for a status. If it comes back, and maybe you took it back because they're not buying enough product from you, and it's, you can take it right out. You can clean it up if you need to and place it in another store. Then it creates a record saying I'm in the warehouse and I'm either available or I need some attention. And so you get two tracking records when it returns. So that's kind of
how did you get to that screen?
the one I'm on here. All right, let me just jump back. So let's say from the main menu, if I take option 4 for inventory, and then I take another option 4 for returns management.
4 and 4 for returns management.
And then if I do a 1 for returns, and I'll just set one up here just to kind of walk through it with you. So if I do press F10, basically this is saying something either came back or it's going to come back. But I'm going to do F10 and say, well, shoot, I don't know a customer it would be coming back from. So my example is going to be kind of funky. Let me show you on. I'll show you on my system so I'm not corrupting your data. So option 4, 4, 1. So now we're looking at my data over here. If I press F10 to add, and I'm going to say, I think this customer knows.
That marathon tomorrow. And then I'll try to get you guys a list of the top 10 of them that have that. It should be good, but I mean, I'm not top 10, the top 50.
So they sent back one bun.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Oh, no, we're not talking about that for a while, but
The reason code.
So, yeah, I'm not worried.
How'd you get to that screen?
Press F4 is always a search in our system. So when I was on the reason code, press F4 to search. And I don't have any, realistic reason codes in here for this particular purpose, but those would be things that ABL would set up as a company. I'm just going to say data entry error. It's not really what it is. So it knows that's in there. So I'm bringing that back, and I believe and those folks would know how to do that. And then I can put the queue out here to capture the serial numbers.
Okay.
Just like in order entry. So and I ask you to enter those twice. I'm going to call it.
Once it shows that it's returned, does it automatically show up as in the warehouse, or?
Yes, when you run through that, it's going to go through there. So this is saying that it's just showing you the screen that it's there. So the first record that pops up says it returned from the customer, and this is just for you to visually verify. And I'm just going to press enter and confirm.
Okay.
And then it's going to bring up another one. This is the one where I tell it what's going on. Did this one come back in a state where where it's available? Could I just go install it at another store now, or did it come back and it needs repair? So I'm going to say this one needs repair. So put it in there and press enter and confirm. And now we have two tracking records out there for that thing, and so it shows that it came back. And so what I did, just to go through the high-level steps again, from the main DAC menu, you get there by doing a 4 for returns management, then a 1, then they would press F10. And people that up there at ABL are using returns management, so they already know how that piece works. F10 to add, and you wind up and you give it the customer number it's coming back from. And at the end of the day, they wind up with an entry that would look like this, and then you record the serial numbers in there for what came back. And the end result for you guys, if I jump out of here and go back to DAC Equipment Manager, let me get in the right spot here. So if I come over here and I say, let's do F24 again for all tracking.
Yeah.
And I think I keyed Harlan Test ADL for my serial number. So there's my 2 entries in there recorded. So I see it came back from the store, came back from this store here, the A&A Food number 13, and now it's in the warehouse, and it is at a status of N, meaning needing repair. So now if you ran that list equipment and warehouse, this would be another type. Since it's on my system, if I run that report, run that report and say, just show me everything. And so you would get a report that looks like this. So you see that
Yeah.
So there's a variety of things, and here's the one that I just entered. Needs repair, Bun Auto Brewer, and it's there's my fictitious serial number I created. So the full life cycle is you can put the stuff in the system when you first get a new piece of gear. You record it when you place it at a customer, and then you record it if it comes back. And so you sort of got that set of stuff. Now, what you can do when that piece of equipment is now available, remember I brought that one in, needs repair. Somebody in the warehouse needs to say, this one got repaired and it's available now. So here's how you would do that. If I take option 1, this is kind of the easiest way to do that. And so you would come down and find, I think this is my piece of gear here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to enter some more serial number tracking for that. So remember, it was needed repair. Now I'm going to say it's available, and I don't have to put a customer number in because it's in the warehouse. So customer number is not part of the equation. And it asks me for my serial number, so I'll key that serial number. Wasn't it Harlan Test ADL, I think? We're about to find out. So I asked me for it twice again to make sure I didn't fat finger it as I typed. And now it brings it up, and so it knows I'm trying to say it's A for available. So now I've marked it back. So we got it in, we cleaned it up, we fixed the frayed power cord, whatever was wrong with it. And now I've said, okay, it's available again. So now if I come back out here, and remember our good old friend on screen just to view stuff, if I do the F24 and type that serial number in, then you'll see the full life cycle. So came back from the customer, needed repair, somebody in the service department fixed that baby up, and it's available again. So that's kind of the way the steps go.
Hey, Harlan?
Yes.
Harlan? Are you there? Can you hear?
Say that again?
Yeah, a question for you. Do you have what I call a cheat sheet for these items, or these ways to get to those different sections?
I'll look around and see what I've got. If I don't, I will create a cheat sheet for you.
Yeah, what I'm looking at is sometimes it's easy. Let's say if we're in a rush and we may forget some things, I don't want to have to call you like 20 times a day when we can just look at
Right, it would be a lot smarter for us to have that documented so you don't have to call us. I will put that list together for you, especially the things that we talked, the high, well, I'll put each menu option together and what happens inside of it and how it's used. I think I have a basic document, but I don't know that it's been updated with some of these more recent features that added in the past year.
Yeah, that'll be great for us. If you could email us that'll be great. But now, so as we're going through this, until we do returns, can we go back to how I track sales? Meaning
Yes,
they bought?
yes.
Okay.
Okay? Yep.
Yep.
So how do you track sales? So there's a couple of ways to do that. I think we talked about, I think last time I said there were 3, and there's actually 4 ways to find some of that stuff. So let's look at a few of them here.
So there's 3 ways.
Yeah, the main thing is, see where this one says print is an operative word, and the word usage is a key word to figure out, are they buying stuff from me or not? And let me jump back over to your system.
Those 1019.
I'm on your system, and let me get back to the equipment menu. I hope I'm not driving you crazy by hopping around, but
No, you're good. You're good.
my system to yours is. So what you want to do is option 3 is the place to get a list of the stuff. So I'm going to do option 3, and you'll notice on here, go away, pop up. Number 6 is your primary thing to get a list out of there.
Right.
So
Okay.
equipment with sales. If I want to do it for a specific customer, I can put a certain customer in, but maybe I don't. Maybe I just want to see everything and get an overall snapshot. So F6, if you say sales, the first question the program needs to have answered is sales over what period of time? And I think we tried this on you guys' system, and we cast a wide net and went back an entire year. So I'm going to do that same thing this time.
Right.
And
And
say
can we
from-
go with the customer number?
Yeah, do you have a customer number you want to try?
Yeah, 981-279.
981-279.
Yeah, we just put
Right,
that
and
one
if
in.
you don't- Yeah, and if you don't know the customer number, an F4 is always a search, so you could press F4 with your cursor on the customer number field and search. Well, if you don't know the customer number, but you know their name, you can find them that way.
Right.
F6 it's going to show some profitability, and it's going to require you to enter, some kind of a profit level. So you have either base cost or net cost
Or
in
net.
the system.
That's what we need.
So I'm going to say base, just for fun. And if you want to run this thing, and you can say only show me equipment if it has sales. Well, if you're trying to find the voids or the places where people have equipment and they're not buying enough products from the ABL to warrant that, you probably don't want to say why here. You probably want to leave that blank. So I'm going to leave it blank just for jollies, and I'm going to press F6 to print that. So that's going to give us the list for that one customer over the past year, the stuff they have in the store and what they've been buying from us is tied to it. So let's press F6 and press enter again with a little confirm prompt. And that's produced a list out here, so let's go see what's on our list. One other thing I could do is send you guys the recording we did of this.
Yeah, that would be good also.
So if you get truly bored, you could watch the video.
There you go. Yeah. No, if you could, that would be great.
All right, so it shows. So, all right, that customer, the Sammy Quick Stop Market. All right, they have a bun, and then here's our associated products. Not seeing any activity in there, so let's pay. So there's a lot of stuff tied in here. So they're buying cups from us.
Yeah, so our list is brought for that customer. Well, not really, because that's all the customer carries, but we're just going to tie it in. If we just want to tie in equipment, we just need to do cups and the stuff related to that. We can erase all the other stuff.
Yeah, if these pieces of equipment, this Kleenex, I don't see how that's associated with the bun coffee maker.
Right.
So
Well,
you should remove the ones that don't make sense like that.
Okay.
And I'll show you how to remove those just to refresh. So there's a couple items, and so some things are being sold.
Right.
And then at the bottom it says, all right, over that time period, we sold them $660 worth of products to use, and we made a $87 base profit off of
Okay,
that.
well, that's not bad for a 3-week period as opposed to the other one. Remember the other one, it was a whole year and it was what, $31?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this one is I think I ran this for the entire year. Yeah, because I ran it.
It's got the machine,
New.
yeah, it's a new machine, it's probably a 3-week-old machine.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I know that, that one there is not so bad.
right. I'm
Well,
going to run this list again just for my own curiosity as well. I'm going to put that customer number back in. I think that the sales only shows just the items that actually have sales in it. So it would still show the serial number of equipment, but it's not going to print all that extra fluff in there. So let's go back a year, and let's say our profit is base, and let's say sales only yes this time. And let's see what our report looks like. I believe this will skinny that report down to only the items that they've been buying that are associated. So let's run that. That took a little while. Let's see. We'll go down and see what our list looks like now. So this is all right. So that cleaned it up a lot. So now you can see. Now you can see the forest for the trees, right? So you would want to put the Y in there for sales. So this shows you the stuff they're buying. This tied to the Bun coffee maker, or the alligator ice. Actually, it's an alligator ice machine, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm a little slow on the uptake. So that's the way you could look at that stuff and see and analyze. So that's probably another area you guys want to focus on as we further refine and make sure that all of our serial number tracking is up to snuff and makes sense. You can do that. Now, to remove those items, like the Kleenex that were in there.
Yeah, we don't need to remove them, but yeah, I understand now.
Say that again?
Yeah, well, show us how to remove them.
Okay, good. All right, so let's go over, let's take option 1. And where was our piece of gear? Let's see. Didn't it? I skipped over it.
There it is.
Doesn't have any coffee in it. Coffee cappuccino.
Thought I had a bun in there. Okay. Still not seeing that alligator ice. I must be blind.
It'll be option 2.
Which one? What now?
I think it's under alligator.
Scroll up.
He's in Bun right now.
Okay.
Maybe it'll come up on alligator.
There it is.
That look like it?
That's it.
Okay. Yeah, so you key in part of a description up there and find it. So let's see. So we want to see the associated products. So equipment products being the key term there. So let's show what products are associated with the alligator ice machine.
Uh-huh.
And so when I get down in here, any of them that you want to remove manually, looking for our Kleenex. That's yeah, here we go. So to remove those, pretty straightforward. You do a D beside the ones you want to remove. Press enter. It's going to come and say, "Are you sure you want to delete?" And I'm going to say yes. And it's going to come and ask that question for the other one. I'm going to say yes. And so now those guys are gone. Those items are removed.
All right.
Okay.
But now, can we, well, put those items back in if you can. I just want to see how we remove them if we need to.
Put the items back in.
Just put them back in.
I don't remember what items they are.
Yeah. There were tissue and stuff.
There were the Kleenex tissues.
Do I have too many S's in there? What the heck?
Maybe it's under Kleenex. No.
Well, you can see that I don't, you think these guys right here maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's it, yeah, both of those.
Yeah, this screen here is only going to let me select one at a time, so I'll add that one in, then I'll go back.
So what are we doing? We're just putting it in there and adding one down, and what number are we pushing?
Okay. Let me go back and show you. So really, to add them in, all you have to do is come up here and find and enter the item number if you know it, or if you don't know the item number like me, you press
Okay.
F4 is always a search. And so I'm searching for an item. So put my cursor on the item number field and press F4 to search. And I'm going to type in part of that, and it's searching across, I think it's 1,000 items or 500 items at a time. So I'm going to hit page down a couple of times till tell me to hit roll up or page down. So here, so you get down to here, and then what you do, you use an X to select the item, and you press enter, and it brings that item number back. Then you press enter one more time, and it adds it in there. And so if I scroll around, I should see that item back down in here again. So there it is. So that's how you add. So you can add by item.
Okay.
And by putting the item number in up at the top and pressing enter, or you can and remove them by doing a D beside to delete.
Well,
No. How long were we talking about?
no.
Okay, well, I'll get with Don and we'll have to look at redating.
Are you guys, is that an internal discussion, or are you guys asking me something?
Oh, no, you're good. It's internal.
Okay.
I'm listening.
I thought that's what was going on, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, just tell me going to, that's my help you.
Yeah, he's got a little situation on the phone, but I'm here.
Oh, okay. So we sort of laid a little bit more groundwork, because now you guys have some stuff to look at. So I have homework to do, which is to look at the new things that I got, the new spreadsheets, make sure we got stuff in there. I've got to tidy up some stuff that looks funky, like it's not, like it shouldn't be there, and tidy that up. And
It's
you guys,
highlighted. Yeah, there's some new stuff.
And if you guys can look through the list and review it. And the other piece of homework I have is to get you some documentation that shows you the steps to go through and the highlight points. I work on my end of stuff, and we probably need to reconvene. I think just to see where we got to on the import, and do another session to answer any questions that have come up in the meantime, especially after I get you some documentation up there.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
Yes.
Are we good to go for now?
Before we go, can you run through one more time with me about how to, say if we have a piece of equipment that is not in here yet, how do I add that? Like how you guys are working on it?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
So what you do is, let me get out of this screen. All right.
So you would go 10, 19, 9, and 1, right? I think.
Yep, 10, 19, and 1, which brings you to this screen that we're looking at. So
Right,
to add
okay.
a new piece of equipment, what you'll do is you'll put you'll press F10 to add.
Okay.
And so you press the F10 to add, and then it's going to bring up this place for you to find an item in there. So
Okay.
you'll want to search for it that way. So if I look for jelly or something like that, I can find that. You'll find the item and you'll pull it back in. So I'm going to grab this item and you do the X beside it. So
Okay.
and then that will add that in as a piece of equipment. Now, obviously, that's
Right. Okay.
ain't what I just did business-wise, but that's how you do it. So F10, choose the item, drops it in here, and gets it going. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that
Okay.
entry out here. And I'm trying to remember, I think to make it more difficult for people to remove it is a minus sign. We're sort of, because we were afraid somebody would accidentally get in here and do a D thinking they were on another screen, and so we made it a little more difficult. It doesn't even tell you how to remove it, but I'm going to remove that. And the documentation will explain it to you. So to add a new one, F10, let's just take it from square one. So I start off my day, need a new serial number, so I'm going to take option 10, option 19, option 9. Then under option 1 is where I'm going to work with the equipment item numbers I have. That's kind of the starting point. And then to add, press F10 on the keyboard. It's going to pop up something that looks like that. You find the item that you're looking for that's missing, and you put an X beside it and press enter, and that will pull it back in, and it will appear in your list. And then you can, if you get one by mistake, the little minus sign it's a backdoor way to sort of remove it.
Okay.
Typically, and then what you'll want to do after you add it is you will want to do a 5 to associate some equipment, to associate products used by that equipment. Can do that. Also, if you look, there's a little shortcut in here that was added. Let's say if I do a 5 beside this cappuccino machine here. If you take your time, say you do it for a cappuccino machine, and say you have 3 or 4 different cappuccino type machines you place, but the products used by those are common, between them. So what you can do to avoid having to do it over and over again each time you add is you can press F15 to copy these products to another equipment item. So once you associate, so say I've got 3 cappuccino machines and they all use basically the same cups, lids, etc. Then I can set up one with the associated products, and then I can press F15, which is the shift F3, and then I can say, all right, grab another equipment item and place an X, and it will copy all those associated items from cappuccino machine A to cappuccino machine B, and that way you don't have to set it up over and over again. So that F15 copy products to similar equipment should be a handy dandy thing for you guys to use.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Hey, when would we want to do a follow-up meeting?
Let's give it 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks?
Yes, sir.
Same time, same bat channel?
That'll work.
If we could.
All right, then I will shoot you guys out an invite, and we'll try to keep up via email in between. But 2 weeks from today, we'll get together again, 10 a.m. your time.
Right. Now, how soon can we get the cheat sheet out?
I will try to. I will put that together. It might be tomorrow before I get it to you. I'll look and see what I've got. I may send one in the meantime that's got the common stuff and then add to it.
Okay. Yeah, because he's concerned about the other stuff. I'm just concerned about how the product ties in and how much money we're making back and forth.
Okay. Then I'll focus on that and make sure you get those steps. I ought to be able to get that over to you today sometime then.
Oh, yeah, well, take your time with that, but I do have a question for you.
Okay.
As Jeff doing service out in the field, we did talk to Don a little bit about that. What detail printer will we need for that? We can't use the printers that we're using for making tags because it'll be too small. Do you have the type of printer we would need for that? Let's say
Really, it's going to produce a PDF file, so it won't too much matter about the printer. I mean, as far as the model or the type, it just needs to be able to do a couple things. It needs to be able to connect to whatever device you have out there. So if it's a tablet, say it's an Apple tablet, well then you're going to be limited on your choice.
No, we use the Android tablet.
You have what kind of tablets?
Android.
Android? All right, well, as long as the printer will handle paper of the size that you want, not a label type printer, and as long as it will connect to that Android, what we wind up producing is a PDF file, and everything that I know of printer-wise will print a PDF file.
What kind of
so I don't have a recommendation, but something that will connect to an Android and print a PDF and have the size paper you want is pretty much the only limitations you're going to have.
Okay, yeah, because we're going to need a portable one so that he can pull it in and out of his vehicle, and that's going to be a big boy, almost like the cell phone when they first came out with the big battery and all that.
The bag.
Yeah.
We're trying to find a simpler way, but there is no simple way for this, is there?
I can't think of a. We can look around and see if we can find it. Aiden, do you have any ideas on small portable printers like that would?
Print a full sheet.
We'll do a little snooping around at Ari, and I'll do some snooping, see if I can find something that makes me get excited about the possibilities.
Right. Yeah, we're trying to find a way to be more efficient because everybody in our store levels, they don't have a way that they can email anything to it, so it makes it difficult.
So you got to be able to print something, show them, like we were talking last time. You want to leave them some paperwork saying, "Here's what I did." Right.
Correct.
Okay.
Or here's what we did. That way they know for sure what happened at the store.
Okay. All right. I'll add that to my list. Just kind of browse around and see Android compatible printers for mobile use and see if we can find something that's small, lightweight, and not like dragging around a briefcase full of junk.
If we can do that, that'll be great.
Okay. Yep.
Alrighty. Any other questions for us?
Nope.
No.
I will,
he probably has about 15 more updates to send over to you, and we'll get that out, and we'll start working on the homework that you said we had to do when it came to clearing up some of the things that didn't have anything attached, if you will.
Okay.
And then after that, we should be good, and in 2 weeks, and that day will be, let's see here. Let's get that date down.
I think that'd be like the 27th, maybe?
One
Is
second.
it 13th?
Yeah, the 13th, it will be, yes, the 27th.
Okay.
So we do the 27th,
Right.
the same time, 10 o'clock?
Yep. I will,
your time.
I'll set that invitation up for 10 o'clock your time, 9 mine, and shoot that out to you. I'll do that today, too, before I forget.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate all your help and your patience, sir.
Not a problem. Appreciate you guys. Stay
Thank
warm
you.
up there.
Oh, yeah.
Will.
Trying to.
Catch you later. Bye.
All right. Have a good one.